Should I go to the war room and set up the next stuff first?
The Inquisition appreciates your assistance in this matter, Lady Corbin.
And my miners appreciate your business. You'll have your lyrium by the end of the week. I should tell you, Ambassador, the Chantry raised some fuss when they learned about our arrangement.
The Inquisition must certainly seem an audacious idea to the Grand Clerics. We hope to convince them it is a necessary one as well.
Who is she? A Dwarven Chantry person? Oh.
I'll take my leave. Good day.
Who is she, Ambassador?
A merchant. I thought we should reach out to the dwarves to secure lyrium for the Inquisition's mages.
Oh, she's not from the Chantry.
According to Lady Corbin, it raised the ire of the Chantry.
How?
Access to lyrium makes us rather more formidable than anticipated. We're becoming a challenge. Sadly, the remaining Grand Clerics appear to be consolidating the Chantry's power instead of comforting the masses.
Even if we don't work together, I would have wished all of us to be trying to think of our own solution to closing the breach, but no, they're so worried about the Inquisition. Apparently the Inquisition is a bigger threat than the hole in the sky. And you know exactly why that is. It's because we threaten their power. That's why. Is Josephine religious? I don't know if I'm gonna offend her by saying these things.
Mage circles started falling years ago. The Chantry was troubled even before the Divine's murder.
Yet many people continue to bear it great love. We will not benefit from its decline. Little but the Chantry ties Orlais, Nevarra, Ferelden, Antiva, and even Rivain to a common cause.
Has the Chantry truly promoted such peace?
Andrasti's chant is familiar across kingdoms, a source of many shared customs. That is the crucial point. Common ground is the start of all negotiations.
Okay, I see this in real life too, but I think the very, very, very important distinction to make here is that the Chantry, what you're saying, Josephine, the thing that ties people together, it's not the Chantry. It's the religion. It's Andraste, which is not directly equivalent to the Chantry, which is the same in real life religions, right? Like, the Chantry is one interpretation of what the Maker, what Andraste is saying. And we've seen this in some of the casual conversations we've overheard. People saying, I know what Andraste is all about. I know what the Maker is all about. I don't need the Chantry to tell me. So very, very, very important distinction to make here. But so often just taken as the same thing, which we're doing here. Ugh.
So if everyone listens to the chant, things will be smooth as silk.
I did say commonality is merely a beginning, but it's an important one. We must learn to think beyond our own wants to secure peace in Thedas.
I feel bad that I just immediately beeline towards the heart option every time.
How did someone so lovely and selfless go into Orlesian politics, Lady Montelier?
Well, that is, really, you give me too much credit. While you're here, I do have a question.
There's other people in the room.
The remaining Grand Clerics sent a missive inquiring about the events at the Temple of Sacred Ashes. They demand to know whether the Inquisition officially claims that Andraste saved you from the breach. If it were up to you, how would you reply?
Are you taking my answer into consideration for your reply? You're writing the reply, right? Oh, you're just asking me if I'm religious.
Will my answer change your reply to the Chantry?
If Leliana, Cassandra, Cullen, and I could agree on our official stance, I could answer that.
Oh, so we're not going to answer it then.
Soon. The revered mothers don't seem to know what to make of you.
We need to get rid of weak positions, so I don't know. That's private. No, we should say something. I don't know. I feel like still being an elf. I accept that other people have their own religions, but I follow the elven gods. And if you want to believe that Andraste chose me, that's your own thing, but I certainly don't believe it.
I'd tell the Chantry I was saved by circumstance, not divine intervention.
Yet as rumors your Andraste's herald grow, the Grand Clerics may not believe such a humble reply. A difficult situation, and I thank you for your answer. A good day to you.
Would they rather have me be the Herald? I was under the impression that if I actually was the Herald, they would be troubled by that. Because now they would have to listen to me, because I'm from Andraste, and the Chantry should, theoretically, listen to anybody who's, like, the rep, right?
Do you need anything more, revered mother?
What the hell? This person was having a conversation with this person outside? Mother Giselle, are you alright?
I understand you were instrumental in garnering the assistance of the rebel mages. It is well done. And I pray this Inquisition fares better than the Chantry in its handling of magic.
Yeah, I hope so too. Okay, I can see the lady has the tranquil mark on her now. It's not clear unless we get a zoom in. Abomination, becoming an abomination is, I believe it is, quite intrinsically tied to stuff like fear, which... yeah, let's try to give people a little bit more benefit of the doubt here. I would like to know what you think.
You disapprove of something the Chantry did. Are you allowed to do that?
That largely depends upon one's company. While surrounded by those declared heretics already, I am safe enough. In some ways, Andraste had the simpler task. Magic should serve man, and not rule over him. That tells us what should be, but it does not tell us how to get there. So many times the methods of men have undone the spirit of their goals. Once you have sealed the breach, we shall see whether this Inquisition is truer to the Chantry, or its own namesake.
And Mother Giselle does not equate the Chantry to the teachings of Andraste and the Maker. Did this change?
Can you tell me how our people are doing?
What would you like to know?
How are the villagers in Haven doing?
You did well to gain the mages to your cause. The people have hope that the breach may be sealed. Some of them are returning to the lives they fled, others are starting fresh. In either case, they no longer believe the world as they know it is ending.
Alistair appeared for like 0.5 seconds. He was very upset about what the mages were trying to do with Recliffe and all, and I understand, but I wish we got to talk to him a little bit more because this matter concerns him too, right? And now, from his perspective, it's kind of like, oh, the Inquisition took in the troublemakers.
Do you have information on people elsewhere?
The refugees in the hinterlands are desperate. Without help, starvation or war will claim many lives. Villagers in Crestwood are besieged by their own dead. They have sent word begging for assistance. People are vanishing in the hills of Emprise du Lion. It may be demons or something worse, but they are terrified. More than that I cannot say. It is a chaotic time for all in Olay and Ferelden.
It is.
Farewell.
Farewell.
Thank you, Mother Giselle. I'm gonna go start any war table stuff first, and then we can continue looking around. Hopefully this is okay. Not gonna activate a cutscene. I think we're fine. I would like to speak to Cassandra a little bit more. I feel not great about things that we were doing. Was this "In your heart shall burn"?
Have you had any trouble with them?
Not at all. I will inform you if that changes.
So a bunch of new ones opened up. The Cult of Andraste. Before the Fifth Blight and the arrival of the hero of Ferelden. Oh, first of all, wait. Let's take back... one of them is done already, right? In Orlais? The Chantry remains. Diplomacy won the day. The clerics chosen to receive aid have been most appreciative and have successfully drowned out our detractors. This caused an internal struggle. Clerics hiring thugs to kill other clerics. Wow! I was forced to intervene. Such despicable behavior from those who aspire to the Sunburst throne. The mood in the Grand Cathedral is tense, but for now the Chantry can be counted our political ally. Clerics that try to kill other clerics? Oh, I don't know about that. Oh, hold on. Let's see what's going on here. Choose successor in Litis. Commander Cullen, my husband informs me that I have your Inquisition soldiers to thank for the timely intervention that protected my carriage from an attack by bandits not long ago. The roads are indeed dangerous these days. As the Duchess of Litis, I will do my best to improve their safety. Please convey my gratitude to all who helped ensure my safety in these trying times. Yours, Duchess Carolina of Litis. Okay, cool. We got a blade. Ancestral blade. What? Your ancestral blade? Don't just give that away! Alright. This is just here? How come some of them stay? I have no idea. The University of Orlais. To the leaders of the Inquisition, the death of so many good souls at the Temple of Sacred Ashes is a tragedy, compounded by the frenzy of posturing that has taken place in the race for divine Justinia's successor, which all too frequently uses the University of Orlais as a scapegoat for ills perceived or real. Considering your recent cowing of these clerics, the University is hoping you might see your way to protecting us from their rhetoric. Such a partnership could be beneficial for us both. We have research, magical as well as mundane, that we'd be pleased to share in exchange for aid in these trying times. Chancellor Jürgen Haulis, University of Orlais. Protecting the university from the Chantry's rhetoric about who the successor is gonna be? Okay. Probably a Josephine kind of thing, right? Bit of diplomacy to tell the clerics where their attacks are unwelcome should be enough, provided it is done delicately. Liliana, we could arm the university with information, give them ammunition against anyone who speaks against them. The attacks will cease. Or soldiers. Station a few soldiers at the university. That's too much. It's not delicate, you know? Go, Josephine.
Let us begin.
Alright. Truth or Dare, Lake Celestine. A page from Travels of a Chantry Scholar lies on the table. This passage is circled. The region between the Lake Celestine and the shore of the Waking Sea is known as the Heartlands, a place of vineyards and gilded marble estates that locals refer to as cottages. It is often said that Orlais's heart is plated with gold, and so it seems fitting that the Heartlands are perhaps the richest place outside the Val Royeaux. A notice at the bottom. Comte de Maurier and Marquise Comte Courtemans, both spending money like water. Which to pursue? What do you mean pursue? Comte de Maurier, Josephine, distant relation of the Empress. Agents near Courtemans. We can infiltrate his manor. Oh, we're not sending soldiers here. Wait, what are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, what? It is often said that Orlais's heart is plated with gold. We want to rob them? Are we robbing them? Wait, what? It's not clear to me what we're actually doing here. I mean, if someone's related to the Empress... Dude, I just want to use Josephine for everything. Well, this one, Josephine is speaking with the guy. Liliana is like going into someone's manor. Let's not do that. Not that I don't think Liliana will do it right. Like she'll get caught or something. I don't think that'll happen, but... Why are we infiltrating the guy's mansion randomly? An ally from Starkhaven. What is this? Busy. What does that mean? Huh. The Inquisition has received a missive from Starkhaven. Most cordial greetings. My name is Sebastian Vale, sole heir of the Vale Princes of Starkhaven. I recently retook the throne of this great city from those who sought to gain it through unjust means. As a most devoted adherent of the Chantry, I felt the loss of Most Holy Justinia V keenly. I too hoped for a resolution to the terrible conflict that claimed the lives of hundreds in Kirkwall and now threatens to claim all of Thedas. I extend Starkhaven's hand in friendship to the Inquisition. Together, let us right the wrongs visited upon our world. Aww. Prince Sebastian Vale, do I believe you? Why do I not believe you? I know how you feel about mages. I know how you feel about Anders. Especially since we just got mages as allies. I don't know about that. Improved stability. The Inquisitor's efforts to close the Fade Rifts has increased stability in various regions across Thedas. However, demons sometimes remain, having wandered from the site of the original rifts. The Inquisition has received numerous requests for aid in dealing with this problem. Finally, Cullen! Time for you to shine, right? Your soldiers can sweep areas and eliminate demons. But nobody can even close it. It's still a big problem. Oh, surprisingly, Josephine is still shortest time for this one. The time is related to how many agents we have as well, right? The people that we pick up along the way. So maybe that's why. Ah, Josephine is needed for the Sebastian one, probably. Go, Colin.
To work?
Yes, please. And then are there any other... Oh, the Cult of Andraste? Before the Fifth Blight and the arrival of the hero of Ferelden, Haven was occupied by cultists who worshipped the dragon, one they believed to be Andraste reborn. Both the cultists and their dragon were long gone by the time the Chantry arrived to build the Temple of Sacred Ashes, but there may still be undiscovered passages in the mountains containing their relics. Didn't we have this one already? With a concerted search effort, it might be possible to unearth something useful to the Inquisition. Did we just not do this one? I feel like we've seen this one. Yeah, the time is really short too. Go, Liliana.
Let's see what we have.
Alright. We'll let that cook. And I'm not even gonna look at the next one yet. Let's just... Alright, we can look at it. In your heart shall burn. Join forces with your new allies to assault the heart of the breach and close it once and for all. Immediately? What? This is not an end game thing? This is a mid-game thing? Are we even mid-game right now? I feel like we're in the beginning. We're already closing the breach? That's somehow surprising. Huh. Well, Josephine. Oh, you're not sitting down today. Oh, never mind.
Greetings.
What do the people make of us?
Despite our fame, we're low on steadfast allies.
Yeah.
We must aim for more.
Any thoughts on the people here?
Who did you mean?
I mean the new guy with a mustache.
You must have an opinion of Dorian.
Who hasn't? The man could cause a scene standing quietly in the center of an empty room. Still, I do believe he has your best interest at heart, for all that he delights in mocking them from time to time.
I haven't talked to him enough to know this about him.
Let's speak later.
Another time.
Okay.
Hello? Can I help you with something?
How you doing? How do you feel now that the rebels are here? You didn't join the rebels.
I'm surprised that even an apprentice mage wouldn't join the rebellion.
I don't like using magic to fight. I'm not good at it either. I liked studying. I liked performing rituals that helped us unlock the secrets of the Veil. I liked having the Templars around to keep us safe.
I'll speak with you later.
Travel safely.
This turn of events is probably not your favorite then.
We will study that.
Although I would have to say that the Templars are kind of weird too, with Lord Seeker Lucius being all sorts of strange. Are we ever gonna go down here again? Wait, so like this place? I'm not a rogue, and I can't have a party while I'm in Haven. How am I ever gonna open those doors then? Is that even gonna be possible? Like, unless if I'm a rogue myself, I can't ever open it, right? I don't have party members here. Alrighty, where is Dorian located? What's going on outside?
Speak only the word. Then the Golden City is thine.
Golden City has been blackened.
If Fiona and her malcontents are joining us as allies, we need to be prepared. Abominations are inevitable. Cullen doesn't have enough Templars to handle incidents. Some of the rank and file need to be trained.
You want more Templars here. Wait, keep who hidden? The mages? Okay, I want to say this one, but you're not going to take it in like a, oh, we'll make them our slaves kind of way, right? You're not going to say that, are you? You better not.
We can handle the mages, there's no need for Templars.
Have any of these men faced an abomination before, my dear? Have you? The veil is broken, and the raw power of the Fade rushes out like floodwaters through a shattered levee. You know as well as I do that mages attract demons where the veil is thin. And if demons can walk our world with no blood magic to summon them, how safe do you think our allies are? There has never been a greater threat to mages than the breach. Until it is closed, no one is safe.
Okay, I can see that. But I haven't seen a single abomination so far in our entire Inquisition journey. That might just be because they haven't depicted it, but it's been happening in the back, but I haven't seen a single one.
If you're seeing demons everywhere, do you believe you're a risk? Do you believe I am?
We are a risk, darling. Better to know it and use caution. Magic is dangerous, just as fire is dangerous. Anyone who forgets this truth gets burned.
Yeah. I mean, I do agree. We need something. Magic exists to serve men, not rule over him. But the way it feels like the Chantry and the Templars take it sometimes, magic exists to serve men. It's like they expect mages to become their servants. That's how they read it. Oh, this is a good point. Non-circle mages don't have Templars lording over them. And as a systemic whole, we seem to be okay. I'm not gonna say we don't have any abominations, but as a whole, I haven't heard anything about it being not okay.
The Dalish get along just fine without Templars or Circle Towers.
As I understand it, the elves limit their risk by refusing to have more than 3 mages in a clan. Tell me, what becomes of the Dalish youngster who is not appointed first or second?
Hey, I actually didn't know that, which is embarrassing because I'm an elf. Well, we might have vaguely heard about this. What are you trying to say?
If a clan can't raise the mage, they're sent to another that's in need of a first or second.
And if there are no clans in need of a new apprentice? For those who value survival, sentimentality is not an option. Tell me something. You said once that you wanted to change things. What future would you build for mages?
I know what you want to hear. Do I care about pleasing her? Last time we had a great approval thing from her, but it's been completely reversed this time. If I had the answer to this question, we wouldn't be here to begin with. Some form of the circle, I think I can agree with some form, but like in the current form, mages. What's the difference between mages and the Chantry versus the circle? Concretely, mages and the Chantry? This could be,
Mages shouldn't be kept out of the Chantry. Who knows the dangers of magic better than a mage?
A curious idea.
Oh.
Such twists and turns your mind takes. It's something to consider, my dear.
I'm not your dear, okay?
Yes?
Is she that much older than me? How old am... Pfft, that's not happening.
Do you think that you and I might someday...
You and I? Don't be absurd, my dear.
It changes from time to time. Is she... How old am I? I don't know how old I am. These two.
I saw the leader of the Bull's chargers, that Iron Bull. He's something, is he not?
Oh, go on with you. You can't go making cow eyes at one of those oxmen.
No harm in looking, is there? Those shoulders, those horns.
You're mad.
Maybe, but I'm not dead.
This is, wait, this is bringing back some questions I have about interracial couples. Can they have children? Like Kunari and human children? You guys talk?
Mages. Lovely.
They should have this breach sealed soon enough.
I suppose their gold spent as well as anyone else's.
You have blessed. Sing only the words you place in my throat.
Your open support for the mages likely earned you enemies. Our agents will monitor the situation. If the most opposed can be identified, we may still turn this to our advantage.
Thank you, Liliana. Whoa, yeah, but let's not kill people.
You're not planning assassinations, are you?
I was planning to unleash Josephine on them. She kills with kindness. Regardless, I applaud you for the courage to stand up for the mages.
I don't know if we should say that. I don't doubt that Liliana in this timeline would do the exact same thing.
In Redcliffe, you sacrificed yourself so that I could return here.
Of course I did. One small life in exchange for a second chance at history. I always loved a bargain.
It was still a sacrifice, and still noble.
And I would do it again.
I know you would. And that's why our team is so... With Cassandra and Liliana at the core of the team, there is no better combination.
Anything I should know?
Altegan has returned to Recliffe Castle and resumed his duties as Lord. The people are returning, slowly but surely. Unfortunately, our show of support for the mages has angered many.
Even within Recliffe?
Anything I should know?
I've nothing to report at the moment.
I'll leave you to your work.
Liliana is not a companion that has opinions on how I do things, in terms of the approval system. She's only here to support me. I'm still missing 5 obsidian, wherever it is.
Thanks for checking anyway. Can I help you with something?
No.
Farewell.
Make a go with you.
Varric, how have you been? I haven't seen you for quite a while. I'm gonna take you out later, alright? How have you been?
The Mage Rebellion joins the Inquisition. I've got to admit that's a twist I didn't see coming. One thing you saw in the future worries me. I mean, it was all bad. But red lyrium and Ferelden, infecting people and growing out of them, that's bad. Finding more of it really punches a hole in my red lyrium at the temple was a coincidence theory.
Growing out of people, even normal lyrium is mined out of the underground. Red lyrium grows out of people? How does that work?
How long does it take for red lyrium to grow? How fast can it spread?
It took years to infect people in Kirkwall, but no one there was actually ingesting the stuff. This Elder One managed to take the worst thing I can think of and make it worse. That's an accomplishment.
We can't leave a single piece of that lyrium out in the wild.
I'm with you on that. I've got people trying to find out where the red stuff came from. I think maybe we should make that a priority. But that's enough doom and gloom. You just won a big victory for the Inquisition. What are you going to do to celebrate?
Wanna go have a drink at the tavern? We haven't won anything though. I mean, big victory? Doubt.
We can't know what's coming. Best not to get too comfortable.
I can't disagree with that. But maybe you should try to relax while you can. Things should be calm around here for at least the next hour. Take a moment to enjoy it. If the world's about to end, I'm sure the Seeker will let us know.
I'll relax when I'm dead. Was that it, Varric?
Need something?
Can I ask you something, Varric?
You want to talk about me? I'm flattered. Also inclined toward extravagant lies.
I haven't taken Varric out in so long.
No problem.
We really gotta take him out. You guys talk?
You can't be happy giving up your whole life for the Maker. I mean, look at the Chantry.
I am looking. Mother Giselle gives of herself and asks nothing in return.
We're not talking about Mother Giselle.
They're still arguing. Who is that other person? They're not religious? Where'd they come from?
Empress of fire in the reign of the lion, eclipsed in the eye of the empire of the Orlesians. Empress of fire, what season may come, we fight for the day you'll restore our heart and bring us to glory.
Very well.
We are forever.
I'll keep an eye
out. In your graces,
Are they praying?
Empress of fire,
Or are they drunk?
save us, everyone. The nation reviles, the course is but run, an end has begun. Empress of fire, believe in our soul, embrace us with arms and dress us with swords, and light up our hearts with blood so bold. We are
No, they don't.
It's just what I heard.
forever in your graces. Empress of fire in the reign of the lion, eclipsing the eye of the empire of
I wonder if we're ever gonna meet Empress Selene.
Empress of fire, what season may come.
Good day.
We fight
Welcome
for
back.
the day you'll restore our heart and bring us to glory.
Thank you.
Can I get
Thank you for the nice song.
Farewell.
Goodbye.
I look like a buff soldier now. I'm still not used to it.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
the next song just starts.
Well, that's mages all over. So many robes, I bet all of Ferelden lost their curtains. I'll just be the other side of Haven, just in case.
You afraid?
Do you have a problem with our new allies? With mages?
No problem with mages. You're fine, right? My problem is magic. If mages sat on their hands, everything would be fine. I mean, yay, freedom. Great for them. Over there, away from me.
That's, you know, that's totally fine. I don't know what exposure she's had to magic and mages before joining up with us.
What do you think about the people who have gathered?
Again, with your people. Right, which ones?
What about Dorian?
He's fun. Could lose a bit more to Tevinter.
He does seem fun.
Any thoughts about Warden Blackwall?
He's too good, right? I'd like to see him out of that uniform. Not like that.
What's your opinion of Vivienne?
She's a bitch, but she
Oh, yeah.
knows. She better.
Thoughts on Iron Bull?
He makes me wonder about things. I mean, what did their women look like? Woof.
Woof! Alright. I think we asked about the other ones already. Yeah.
We'll talk later.
Good, right? I'll be here.
Everyone has opinions on the whole mage business. Of course, it's a big thing that affects everybody. Hello, Solus? Solus might have been the only person who approved of what I did.
So we have gained the mages. Excellent. They should be able to seal the breach. You are certain you experienced time travel. Could it have been an illusion? A trick of the Fade?
It could have been, I guess. I don't know. There were just so many things that felt like it wasn't, though. Usually in the Fade, things are a little bit more dreamy and the physics are all wonky and stuff.
Dorian was sure. Impossible as it seems.
What an amazing gift. It is vital the Inquisition succeed to avoid the future you witnessed.
Why was he upset that I said Dorian? Should I have been like, I'm a mage, I know. Huh.
Most people have trouble wrapping their heads around the idea.
I'm not most people.
I appreciate you talking with me about it. And not being most people.
If you wish me to speak of Elysian fashion, I may be at a loss. Magical surprises I can handle. Speaking of which, you should ready yourself.
For?
This Elder One. You have now interfered with his plans twice. Once at the Temple of Sacred Ashes, and now again at Recliffe. A being who aspires to godhood is unlikely to ignore such an affront.
I thought we were focusing on increasing the power of my mark to close the breach, but now we're saying, okay, we need the power of the mages to close the breach. But between the mages and the Templars, I can't see what kind of help the Templars would be in closing the breach. They barely know how to use magic, right? Actually, is that a proper interpretation of them? Was this stuff always here, by the way? These pots? Because Templars to me are mostly the whole, like, sword clanging and bashing and, like, the physical kind of things. I know they take lyrium, but do they have magical abilities of their own? Even if so, probably not as magical as mages. You know, given that mages are called mages.
Greetings.
Bye.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
I interfered with their sacrifice back at the temple. A sacrifice to do what? A sacrifice is you give up something to gain something else. So they were killing Justinia. Why Justinia? Justinia is not a particularly magically gifted individual. But her position is really just that from like a society standpoint, she is a high-ranking person in the Chantry, but ability-wise, she's not that special, but they chose to sacrifice her.
Here, sir, with Segrit's compliments, sir.
What's the catch this time?
No catch, sir. Said he wanted to help the Inquisition. Plus, I think the herbs were going to go off and nobody wanted to buy them. Think Segrit wanted people to like him.
Well, good enough.
Aren't all the merchants here supposed to be working for the Inquisition?
You're back. And in one piece.
I guess there's some Haven people here still.
How are your people holding up?
No one's declared me a heretic recently, so I won't complain.
Okay, good.
Farewell.
I don't think... Oh, upgrades we could try to do. We still don't have the other slot unlocked yet. I think it's Inquisition perk, right? So this might be a while before we can get it done. But
Perhaps
in the meantime... Healing. I don't have enough Prophet's Laurel. Regeneration. I don't have enough Rash Vine. Prophet's Laurel. I just haven't come across it. Prophet's Laurel. I can upgrade the lyrium that I'm not even using. No, let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, okay. Dorian! Hello. You chilling out with Solus?
The Inquisition supports free mages. What's next? Elves running Halamsharal? Cows milking farmers?
You don't support free mages? Tevinter doesn't support free mages?
I take it you don't agree.
On the contrary, I approve. Heartily. I do wonder if you've considered what this support of yours will do. For mages in general, I mean. The Inquisition is seen as an authority. You've given southern mages license to, well, be like mages back home.
I do agree that that has far-reaching consequences. Okay, why is every single companion... Why can't I flirt with everybody? This was never the case in the previous ones, right? It feels like everybody has a flirty thingy. I want to flirt, but I want to actually just have a conversation too sometimes, you know? Sometimes.
If that means they're anything like you, I approve.
Ha! There aren't many mages back home like me.
I'd believe that.
I never fit in. Bloodstains are so difficult to clean, you see.
Oh.
So we're doomed to a future of blood magic then?
Not at first. But you'd be a fool not to see where this could lead. Thing is, the Imperium was once just like the South. Templars, proper circles, all that rot. Then it changed. By inches. Not that this is reason to oppress us. Still, my homeland should be a cautionary tale, not a source of inspiration.
So what do you really think then? You approve, but you say it's dangerous. Do you think... But you still approve though? You should tell me more about Tevinter. I want to know more. Do they really still do blood magic on a daily basis, like for breakfast there?
I'd like to ask you about Tevinter.
Ah, yes. Everyone outside the Imperium always seems quite fascinated by it. Probably why they come up with so many ridiculous tales. Flying cows over Minrathous. That's madness. All right, that one's actually true, but the cows didn't have wings. I digress. Anything in particular you wanted to know?
Can they please settle on pronunciations, like standard pronunciations for certain things? I said Minrathus before, but then somebody said Minrathus at some point and I switched. Same with Empress Celine, damn it.
Just how often is blood magic used there?
Oh, not at all.
Not at all.
That's what any Magister would tell you. They'd be convincingly offended by the notion too. Of course, what people call blood magic here and what we consider blood magic are two different things.
Oh? Why? If it uses blood, isn't it blood magic?
What's considered actual blood magic in Tevinter?
Blood magic isn't inherently dangerous. Using your own blood or that of a willing participant, what's the harm? The problem is that what's permitted only gets you so much power. And what if you need more? You always need more. That's where we get into sacrifices and demon summoning. None of that is done. Not officially. Behind closed doors, it's a different story. Real blood magic can give you an edge, a leg up against your opponents. It's safe to assume that any mage of rank does it. The rest are quietly shut out of power, to put it bluntly.
Blood magic? The blood is a way to power the magic, just like how lyrium powers normal magic, right? So the things you can do is the exact same, but I guess blood is more readily available because we all have it, because we use someone else to do it.
You'd think the Templars would object.
I imagine they did, long ago. Once their investigations might have been sincere. Then their balls were cut off. Too inconvenient. Nowadays, only the friendless are accused. And most of them probably innocent.
There must be some mages who oppose this.
Of course. I do. And I'm not entirely alone. Occasionally, there'll be a magister who makes noise. And then the reform talk begins. All very patriotic. Meanwhile, that magister will be quietly shunned. Chances are, surprise, it's learned he was a Maleficar all along. Most learn to keep quiet. Me? I enjoy the allure of pariahhood.
So even in Tevinter, there are limits to what you can do officially. But does anyone listen? It's like speeding on a highway.
Anyone who talks about the Imperium mentions slavery. It's the center of the slave trade.
Ah, that is true.
And did you have slaves?
Not personally, but my family does and treats them well. Honestly, I never thought much about it until I came south. Back home, it's how it is. Slaves are everywhere. You don't question it. I'm not even certain many slaves do.
Can it not be the word slaves? Can it not just be like servants? Oh yeah, indentured servants. I'm surprised there's no flirting option for I'll be your slave or like some flavor of that.
You think slaves like it that way? Don't be ridiculous.
I didn't say they like it. It's all most of them know. In the south, you have alienages, slums, both human and elven. The desperate have no way out. Back home, a poor man can sell himself. As a slave, he could have a position of respect, comfort, and could even support a family. Some slaves are treated poorly, it's true. But do you honestly think inescapable poverty is better?
Why don't we ask Fenris?
Is that what you call it? Treated poorly?
Abuse heaped upon those without power isn't limited to Tevinter, my friend. I don't know what it's like to be a slave, true. I never thought about it until I saw how different it was here. But I suspect you don't know either. Nor should you believe that every tale of Tevinter excess is the norm.
Fair enough. But we do know personally about one slave, one Tevinter slave, Fenris. Where is Fenris?
It seems strange that an entire empire would be ruled by mages.
Strange?
Why?
Why are you less qualified to rule than some tart with a fancy crown?
Yeah.
Actually, the fiction in the Imperium is that mages don't rule. The magisterium rules. That magisters are all mages is considered a convenient technicality.
But even me saying that, oh, it's so weird that mages can rule, I don't agree with that. Like, why is that weird? That's only weird because it's all this part of Thedas has ever known.
What is the Magisterium, exactly?
The upper house of the Imperial Senate, and the only part worth having a seat on. Those seats are split among the circles of Magi, the Chantry, and the major families. All mages now. It's odd that outside the Imperium, you use Magister like it applies to every Tevinter mage.
It's easy shorthand, because mage is a more neutral word, and then Magister has a evil connotation to it, because it's Tevinter tinged.
If you're not a Magister, then what are you called? No special title?
I'm an Altus, which is almost as good as a Magister, depending on who you ask.
I've never heard of an Altus.
Same.
Upper class. Those families who trace descent from the Dreamers, the first prophets of the old gods. If you're a mage and you're not Altus, then you're later, lower class. If you're not a mage at all, you're Soperati. That's everyone else. We do love our fancy words.
And they're at the very bottom of society.
I thought the Archon ruled over the Imperium.
Well, yes. Technically, he can overrule laws passed by the Magisterium, but that never happens. Even so, he gets to appoint new Magisters, which means all the families vie madly for his favor. Thus, the Archon gets invited to all the parties. The truest path to Tevinter influence, let me tell you.
Somehow all this noble family stuff reminds me a little bit of how Orzammar works.
If it's a fiction, that means mages do rule then.
Yes and no. Let me put it this way. Mages do rule, but not all mages are equal. If you're not from the right family, chances are you don't rule anything. Maybe you're even a slave. The idea that anyone could be a mage, however, keeps the masses placated.
Can anyone be a mage?
Technically, the potential runs mostly in bloodlines, but it's been known to happen. More importantly, commoners believe it can. Tevinter legend is chock full of mage heroes from humble origins. So they hold out hope. Someday my son or my son's son will be a mage. Someday. Poor sods don't realize that means he'll be a quaestor at the arse end of the 100 Pillars, at best.
Being a quaestor isn't a good thing.
I imagine the average non-mage likes to think so. Counting numbers and shuffling papers all day is better than many occupations after all. If you're a second-class citizen among a pack of piranha, however, your outlook changes.
But being a mage, you're just born as a mage or not. You can't really control that, so there's no hoping, really. Is it based on hereditary components? Is there something in the blood, in a gene?
Let me ask you something else.
Of course.
There's an Imperial Chantry, isn't there? With its own divine.
You people aren't supposed to talk about the Black Divine, are you? If you mention him outside the Imperium, people make that face, like you're urinating in public. But yes, we do have the Chantry, or a version of it. Night and day comparing it to yours.
Do you really call him the Black Divine?
We don't call him that, oh no.
Just the Divine.
In the Imperium, he's the true Divine. The woman sitting on the Sunburst throne is some backwater pretender. It all stems from a disagreement over Andraste. Marvelous, isn't it?
Back to the thing about how the Chantry is an interpretation of Andraste. There's two Chantries! There's no true interpretation anywhere.
Why would they disagree over Andraste?
It's not my field of expertise, but the Imperium believes Andraste was a mortal woman, a mage. Down south, they say, no, she's the bride of the Maker, ascended to his side, divine provenance, blah, blah, blah. We feel better believing Andraste was one of us. Makes executing her less damning, you see. So we elected a man as divine, the South declared war, and we've been feuding cousins ever since.
I kind of like the mage interpretation a little bit better. I mean, the whole, oh, Andraste is the Maker's wife thing is kind of,
So, the Imperial Divine is always a man?
All the better to distinguish him from that other one, yes. Don't think there aren't a number of female magisters who bristle at that. Why can't they be divine after all? Same reason you never see a man on the sunburst throne. Because that's how it's always been done. Excellent reasoning.
The best kind of reasoning.
Is the Imperial Chantry so different from ours?
Not in theory. The main difference is in the whole magic is meant to serve man, not rule over him business. Back home, ruling the unwashed masses is serving them, for the good of the Imperium. Perhaps it started with good intentions, but these days it's academic. The circles are in command.
Oh, you have circles.
There are circles of magi in the Imperium.
We don't have dismal little mage prisons, if that's what you mean. They're academies, prestigious ones. We have Templars as well, but they don't cancel spells or whatever your Templars do. They're soldiers.
They don't use lyrium.
Ha! As if there'd be any left for them. They watch for abuse of magic, yes, but only those who are weak or who fall out of favor get dealt with. Mostly they enforce their magisterium's edicts. The Chantry smiles and nods from the sidelines.
That might be better. Why do Templars need lyrium to begin with anyway? Why is that even a thing? That's better for everyone if they don't use lyrium, isn't it? They won't have the possibility to get addicted. And then they can just be soldiers. Although, in that case, to be able to fight back against a mage... Oh, I guess that's the primary reason then, because they can't normally... A non-mage person versus a mage person... The mage person is pretty much gonna win all the time, if they're equal in terms of, like, weapons, armor, and all that.
Do you consider yourself Andrastian?
The big question. It might surprise you that I do consider myself Andrastian. I simply do not believe in the Chantry. It is a relic, whether back home or here in the south. Something from a bygone age desperately clinging to relevance. It's not an opinion that makes me popular.
No, I agree with you.
I share your opinion, actually.
That's not surprising, considering what the Inquisition represents.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I may not believe in the Chantry, but I believe in you.
Aww.
In me?
That the Maker sent you, whether through Andraste or fate. Cassandra is not wrong. You are what we needed most at the moment we needed it. That's what they will say in ages to come.
That's the first time a lot of people have told me, you're the Herald of Andraste, but I feel like Dorian saying it is the first time that I felt a shred of, oh, I feel like I can believe what he says. Whether by chance or fate or because the Maker sent us, we happen to be at the right time at the right spot, so therefore, that's what makes me the one. Not necessarily because the Maker is the one sending me.
You don't seem like the religious sort, to be honest.
If you define religious as sitting in a chantry and listening to a blithering hen tell you how to live, then no. If you define it as believing in the possibility that something larger than yourself exists, then yes, by all means. The world is bigger than I, even bigger than you. It laughs at all the things we think we know. The Maker doesn't need me to believe, but I do. The thought of no one at all watching out for us is too frightening.
I think we're gonna get along, Dorian.
Let me ask you something else.
So many questions.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the Imperium would be a useful ally.
I'd think you'd be more concerned whether or not they'd support the Venatori. They won't, of course. At least, not officially. They'll disavow all knowledge of dangerous cultists. Secretly, many magisters will rejoice at the idea. And if the South falls to chaos in the meantime, all the better.
It would be in the Imperium's best interest to help. Surely it could use allies.
I think the Imperium gave up on the idea of allies a long time ago. We've been fighting the Qunari for what, 200 years off and on? It's a point of pride that we go it alone. They'll sneer at the South behind their silk handkerchiefs and say, "You've had it easy for far too long." Let's not forget that the Inquisition seems to be an arm of the Orlesian Chantry. Anathema so far as they're concerned.
The way Tevinter does things is too different from the South to ever integrate with them.
We're not part of the Chantry. The Chantry opposed the Inquisition's formation.
They don't care.
You think that matters? Don't be silly. The Herald of Andraste. Your very title smacks of the Southern Chantry. You may as well be a heathen. I think they're far more frightened what you'll do if you succeed.
They'll just think it's the Chantry having a bicker, but we're both arms of the Chantry in the end.
That's all I wanted to know.
Fair enough.
It occurs to me that I barely know anything about you.
Beyond my being a mage from Tevinter, you mean?
Beyond that, yes.
And beyond my being so charming and well-dressed, which is obvious to anyone.
Oh no, I like Dorian.
I'm well aware of your finer qualities. Believe me.
Of course you are. You're a discerning and intelligent woman, after all. Now, what was I talking about? Ah, yes, me. I am the scion of House Parvis, a product of generations of careful breeding and the repository of its hopes and dreams. Naturally, I despised it all. The lies, the scheming, the illusions of supremacy. That's Tevinter in a nutshell, isn't it? Needless to say, my family was not happy with my choices.
Why would your family be upset with your choices?
Because I rejected their idyllic plan. If they had their way, by now I'd be married to some unlucky girl from a powerful family. We'd live in luxurious despair, despising each other as I waited to take my father's place in the magisterium. I declined the honor, and thus it's best I'm far from home. Less of an embarrassment that way, you see.
Oh, I thought you came here specifically for the whole Alexius thing.
I'm getting the impression that you don't care much for your homeland.
On the contrary, I care for my homeland a great deal. There's so much potential. Sadly, we squander it. We refuse to acknowledge how far we've fallen because pretending is easier. We pretend the Qunari can be beaten. We pretend that we're superior to everyone, even our own people. Not everyone feels that way. I don't. Sadly, we're the minority.
It just seems... So much of what you say about the Imperium is entirely negative.
It might sound that way. For all our faults, my people have many virtues. We are laden with history and culture. Tevinter is where Thedas truly began, remember? We treasure our past and preserve it. You can walk down a side street and find nothing built during the modern ages. And despite appearances, we care. Deeply, about everything. We have no reserve, not in war and not in love. If I truly believed my homeland was beyond all hope, I wouldn't miss it so much.
He criticizes because he cares. If he didn't, he wouldn't even bother.
What did you mean by generations of careful breeding?
The mage bloodline
of Tevinter don't have children. They refine traits, weed out the undesirable, and promote the rest. My mother was chosen for my father because magic runs strongly in her blood. Never mind that they loathed each other. They wanted a son who could become Archon to make House Parvis the envy of the Imperium. They got me. A cautionary tale that you should be careful what you wish for.
Could you imagine being from a Tevinter great family and not being a mage? Oh my god, biggest embarrassment of the century.
Why remain with the Inquisition? Why not go back to Tevinter?
I'm not exactly welcome back home. Not that it matters, I'm quite accustomed to being a pariah. It adds to my charm. I can do more for Tevinter here. If the Venatori succeed, it'll set my homeland back 1,000 years. I'm sure some magisters would disagree, but that's why we kill them.
Well, we got Alexius. Are you saying there's more of the cult? Are there more people who know how to do the time stuff? Hopefully not, right? Where do we put the amulet?
I think I've heard enough.
That's too bad. I never tire of talking about myself.
Shut up.
Have you gone to see Alexius yet? He's in the cells.
I haven't.
I saw him before they locked him up. He looked despondent, broken. Not the man I remember, nor the one I want to. I suppose the Inquisition will judge him eventually. I wonder if there's any chance they'll show him mercy. He hardly deserves it, but for Felix's sake. I can't help hoping there's something left of the man I once knew.
Hey, should we be telling... I don't know, should we be doing something about Felix? Because he's gonna turn into a darkspawn someday. There is one way we can save him. Ask Blackwall to do the joining ritual on him. But that's only saving him for like a few more years. A decade or so.
So I take it you're... Dalish? Is that the correct word here?
Yes.
Yes, that's right.
We don't have Dalish clans coming northward, for obvious reasons. So I've never met one of your people before. Although I've heard about them. A little. I hope this won't be an issue between us. I am here to help you deal with the Venatori, after all.
No, I'm ready to tell you everything you want to know about me.
And I appreciate your help, Dorian.
Excellent. Mutual appreciation is a grand way to begin.
Yes.
I should go.
Try not to kill anyone without me.
You want to be a part of it? Okay, we'll go visit Alexius later on as well. Sounds like he's in the cells, which I was gonna go down earlier, but I didn't look at the cells. Maybe it's a good thing I'm not a rogue then. I might accidentally open one of the cells.